Well, let's Capalord, let's get into the Xenon progression here. So, how's Xenon treating you? The high life of Xenon.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot, even though we are comparatively dog shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. Just enjoy it in general still.
Mm-hmm.
Does it
Like
help
the
you
class
not?
aesthetic, skills are fun.
Mm-hmm. Does it help you not to take the game too seriously because you're playing it through the Xenon lens
Oh
anyway?
yeah, definitely no.
Yeah.
Definitely, I don't take any of it seriously.
Because that's what sometimes it's like people who play the quote-unquote like a little bit underdog classes, right? It's because they still want to show that even though a class might not be like top 1 tier pick, it can still do decent stuff. And then some other people just pick kind of pick underdoggy classes or just fewer played classes because they don't want to have the outside pressure of other people be like, well, if you're an Adele, you should be doing this much damage. But if you're playing a class that's kind of an underdog, it's like nobody really puts any pressure on you, like, oh, you have to be able to do this, right? So you can just kind of do your own thing, and it doesn't really matter how. So you're in that second camp where you're just like doing things at your own pace and.
Basically.
Exactly.
I do have some goals, but it's just an eventuality. If I get to it, great.
Yep. Okay, well, tell me about those goals. What are they? Or
very far-fetched, but Black Mage.
Okay.
That's not happening for a long, long time.
Maybe your grandkids can take over your account and continue it.
Yes, maybe when Xenon finally gets buffs.
Yeah. Maybe somewhere in like 2080, maybe they'll send your character to Black Mage when it
next on fucking VR MapleStory at that point.
Yeah, full body suit, VR. Black Mage is like the end of the mid game. Soloing
Gotta
Seren.
go beat Darmor's grandson.
yeah, exactly. Like chosen Seren is like the current day Hard Magnus or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird to think about it that way. How long, even if you just think like 3 years back or 4 years ago, like how much we had and what was considered difficult in the game compared to now. It's it's interesting to see how quickly that changes. So, are there any more like maybe more like manageable like short-term goals in order to get there, or is it just everything on the way?
It's just kind of everything on the way. I guess more recent goal I'm looking forward to is 250 before I can hit before Neo comes around. That should be doable though.
And why do you want to hit
around?
Why do you want to 250 before Neo when the experience curve becomes easier after Neo?
That is true. I felt like I'd be better to work on Legion or something afterwards at that point. Push it to 8k, maybe a bit further, 8.5.
Okay. So are you generally kind of just following the progression grid, or?
For the most part, a couple of deviations here and there, depending on just what I feel like doing.
Exactly. Sure thing. Yeah, you don't want to see it as like an ironclad. You have to do this. Everything else is wrong, kind of thing. That's not the that's not the purpose. It's more like a general idea of where to spend some time. So what level are you right now? Are you in your 240s?
I just hit 241.
241. Nice.
I think like 15% off 242.
And which parts of your like compensation stuff have you redeemed already?
The symbols I've redeemed, I think the 200 to 229 level pots, and I threw the fake arcane, the Ufbra, onto my Adele as a boss meal. Okay.
And what is that one able to do? Like up to like CRA HMAG?
Basically at the CRA point. CRA HMAG, it's basically at that point. I just have to do the secondary and emblem pots a little bit, and it should be doable.
Okay. Man, my flames these last few days have been great.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at your flames and it's like, oh, that's almost the same as mine.
Yep.
Oh man. What I used 7 flames and I got like.
Oh god, the expiring eternal.
What was it, like 80 and then 4 attack and 6 all or something?
Yeah, it was 64 and 6.
Oh, that one, yeah. Beautiful. On the the pants, right. The thief pants, yeah, beautiful. What up, JHK? What up, Kokos? Yeah. Okay, so it's just general progression, general just moving up one step at a time, moving on to the next thing.
Yep.
And okay, so let's check the general account progression then, because that's probably a good place to
Legion's
start.
a bit further down.
Yeah, I'm finding Legion here. So we're at 6.3. That's nice. So you have to do quite a bit into buff duration to get your OOP parts 100% uptime, or is that pretty?
Mechanic plus the what's it called, inner-ability. That was actually enough to get me to about 48, 49 seconds uptime. And with Amaranth Generator plus Core Overload, I can usually keep it up.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned doing this Project CRA is that if you cycle between those well, you can actually keep the uptime very, very high, even lower. Sometimes you have to dip into a little bit lower on the overload or whatever it's called.
Yeah, your surplus energy.
Yeah, surplus energy. Yeah.
It gives percent stat, but it's consequential compared to like final damage.
Yeah, it's better to get 25% final damage and 30% boss than what is it, 20% also. Yeah. Okay, so you're just putting a little bit into buff duration just because the pieces are there.
Yeah, because the pieces are close by, and it's. I mean, instead of boss damage, we get final damage and boss damage for it. So I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit better.
Because it gives you a little bit more room to move around, and you don't have to immediately press it. Yeah.
Since it's such a long cast delay.
Yeah, it's not great. Noticed that with a few, like the cast of the hypergram fields. I wish that was a little bit faster too, because for some bosses it's really annoying to lock you in place for that long.
Those QOL changes, man, they're gonna be so good.
What is changing?
The buff freezers, keeping core overload,
right.
Extra second invincibility from the blaster, as well as I think we get 30-ish% off the cast delay for OOP parts.
Okay. Well, those are pretty much the three worst things I thought about Xenon. So that's pretty good. So they're getting the same. Oh, I think you mentioned that in the chat, right? The same treatment as the Knight's Bane or the Bane from Demon Slayers.
Yes.
Yeah, because dude, the amount of times I had to either cut my blaster short or just die as soon as it ends. That's insane.
Especially when it's like most of our damage, basically.
Yeah, well, only if you remember to press
do the things before.
To press OOP parts right before.
Like 400 buffs.
The worst part is when you let go of the laser and you look at the top right and you see OOP parts like starting to blink immediately. Like, oh god.
Ah, shit.
so much damage lost. Yeah, not good. So in general, you're kind of just using the grid to progress, the Lynx grid. And what are other characters that you're like interested in playing? Is it just Adele, or are there other characters besides that one?
When I was doing my Legion, I actually really enjoyed Paladin, so I'll probably fund that a bit up to be like a secondary character.
That one is currently just at like around the 140.
It's just at 140 right now. I haven't bothered pushing it. Adele had pushed up as like a boss mule back when they released. So I just got it to 210, been doing a couple of simple dailies here and there, daily bosses.
Nice. And have you considered what you're going to be terror burning in Neo?
I was thinking DA for level 3 Link. And for the second one, I wasn't actually sure what to do. Maybe Beast Tamer.
Do you want to do it purely for like the Links and the Legion gain, or would you consider doing it for the...
those would be Legion Links mainly.
Okay. Because another option would be maybe the Paladin itself, right? So you can get it to 5th job quicker. But
that is true.
But I mean, if you're enjoying getting the character up there,
I don't mind the grinding to 200 unless the class is like actually horrible.
and
like
then
Mechanic and Blaster were. God.
Yeah. So you're mainly using the terror burns just to get Legion gains on horrible classes rather than get quicker gains on the characters you like. Yeah. I understand that. And if you do both in Neo, at least in KMS, they also got a fake Solab weapon that you could throw somewhere. So maybe like a third character that you don't really like can get a nice boost from having access to that quickly.
Maybe Phantom, since I saw the Project CRA ones. That was actually so fast.
Yeah, that was with a Fixel lab and with OK Funding, not like crazy over that, and that was without guild skills and stuff. So, yeah, I think the boost nodes are like around level 10, I think, and then the skill nodes at level 1 or 2. So there's definitely you should put a little bit more funding into that, and a lot of iframes. So there's a lot of wiggle room. If you know what the bosses do and you have all your iframes, it's almost it's very hard to die out almost.
Iframe the class.
Yeah, so there's that one skill, right, where you just shoot like just a stream of cards, but then if you get hit by the rock, it ends your skill, so it triggers the iframe at the end. So then if the tail pops up, it just doesn't kill you. Like, it's a nice little safety net for. So that's pretty cool. Does that also mean that you don't need the Mihal at 200 to get the longer duration? On this character you don't, right? Because you use the hyperstats.
Yeah, it's 5 levels in hyperstat. Which
yeah,
is
that's pretty
nothing.
cheap. Yeah. Early on it's like, but later on that's peanuts. Yeah. Okay, but like 8K will definitely just allow you to fill up the grid way more, and you can probably start filling out the boss damage and or the buff duration depending on which boss. For some bosses it might be nice to have a little bit more wiggle room so you're not as panicked, and then for other ones where you're already just like you know exactly what you're doing, you're just bursting it down, then you can just go full into boss damage and just mow it down.
Yeah, I'll have to swap things around for that.
Do you have the second setup for your Legion?
The second one, I've actually just tossed everything into XP.
Right, okay. And then wait, XP and what, crit rate and crit
XP
damage?
Crit damage.
Yeah.
Since crit rate is for the most part around 80-90%, even on mules when I put the links in there.
Right, yeah. If you have access to more links, which you do at your Legion, then you can get the crit rate up very high. Yeah. You probably noticed the difference, right? With the higher crit rate versus the lower crit rate, the kill speed is.
Crit damage and just the base stats you get, it's so good.
Okay, good stuff. Coins is still a bit low, which means that you're actively using them all the time, right?
Yeah, I think this was right after haste, so I used quite a bit.
Yeah, people are always like, "Oh, you have so many coins," but if you just go hard for even a few weeks, you can spend coins like crazy. You can blow through them for sure.
Most of my mules have like 12-star Pencilier and Zachem set. So that's just passive power that they're getting, so more coins.
Yep, that's pretty good. Okay. So is there anything left from the compensation that you're like wondering about how to use that?
Mostly just the flames and just the flames, I think.
The flames? Okay, so when we get to the equips, we'll look at that a little bit. Do you remember how many points you have?
I used a couple of them before, but I think I have around, I want to say 300 Eternals left around.
It's like 900 points.
Yeah, around that.
Around that, okay. Okay. We'll circle back to that once we get to the actual equipment upgrading. Yeah, I liked getting to 8K Legion back then, because once you have, you're just getting everything to 200. And if I got to know the characters a little bit more, you get to learn the hyper skills and how they rotate maps and that kind of stuff. But still, most of the actual brunt of the learning the characters pretty much comes in at 200 plus. Once you get 5th job, your character really changes.
Yeah, since so many skills like Mercedes and the like actually get playstyle changes.
Yeah, playstyle changes, or you get such an empowerment of the weaker skills that you can actually start using them, where before they were just completely useless, or you get new skills that completely replace them that you can then either just cycle between the 5th job skills so that your whole playstyle changes, or you rely very heavily on them only in mobbing or only in bossing, which makes either one of those situations very different. Like split shot on a marksman is suddenly like, whoa, we have to come up with a new game plan here and build like what maps you go to, and
mobbing and bossing changes quite a bit for 5th job marksman, doesn't it?
Yeah, for the bossing, you want to make it goes very much on like a 2-minute burst cycle, so you benefit a lot from having someone with a like a short cooldown bind. Whereas if you use Urda Nova, then that's not as reliable, of course. So you have to. It's a little bit trickier to confirm all your damage. But for mobbing, yeah, you go around split shot, and then you use all the other skills on the off time when you're rotating the map and looting, and then trying to get as many kills more and like summons and stuff. And then when you return, you just start split shotting again. Yeah, it's very different from before, where sometimes I think people even train with the hook shot, where you like dash through the mobs, hit them, dash through the mobs, hit them, kind of thing. But yeah, it's kind of fun to do, and it feels okay because you're like always on the go, but the rates aren't terribly good. So yeah. But yeah, many classes change quite a bit. Like Hayato becomes a completely new class at 200, basically.
Just AoEs out the ass.
Yeah, you go from being quite clunky to having just like one AoE in your regular attacks, basically, to just throwing out AoEs left, right, and center. And sometimes DCing from them, so you have to be a bit careful.
Yeah, Summer Rain I think is the one that's DCing everyone still.
Yeah, and it's that other 5th job, the big screen slash. If you use it too quickly after your other skills, and it's like animation cancel, used as animation cancel, use that too much, then it can be a bit tricky sometimes as well, a little bit unstable. So yeah, just don't press the skills too quickly after another, because they're a little bit volatile. Links in use, have all the rest. Is your bossing setup, because you're pretty burst heavy, right, with Xenon?
Yeah, basically just waiting out Blaster, taking pot shots here and there with Photon and Snipe.
Wait, Photon, what is that one? Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
The one that I got rid
one
of.
you had to replace.
I guess on not C-Val it's pretty okay, I guess. It's just
having the boss exist on the map.
Yeah, exactly. If he's constantly like ducking and moving, then Photon can never get all the charges off, and it's holding. Yeah. It was holding me back. It was a good realization. It's just someone was like, "I think you should replace it." I'm glad that I listened.
Screaming about it for like 2 hours, but
yeah, I was just like, "No, I gotta make this work. I'm so close." And then we're like, "Fuck, let's just give it. Let's just listen to chat." I'll be like, "Oh shit, this is so much better." Yeah,
resistance infantry is honestly a game changer.
Yeah, is it that good? Is it that much damage?
Yeah, with how spammable it is, if you're cycling between that and Photon, actually, you can get in quite a bit of chip damage.
Okay. That's the... Oh, I always forget. That's the stationary one? Or that's the moving one?
Yeah. You just put it down and it just shoots everything in a giant AoE around it.
Right. And it like changes direction, right? Where based on target or based on... Yeah, based on enemy, okay.
Where the target is.
Yeah. It's the Cygnus one that like moves through the map and like kills everything in a path.
Yeah, that's the one that follows along in like platforms.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so that's all you need for boost nodes, and then the other two that you add, those are more for mobbing and min-maxing?
Yeah.
Okay, well you have enough space.
Little things, yeah. I just swap them out when I'm bossing Last Resort Overdrive.
You have access to so many good skills. You've got Overdrive there, decent combat orders. So is Speed Infusion lower priority for you?
With the attack speed +1 inner, yeah, I think so. Because I hit the soft cap with just booster.
So it's only when you're on green pot. You don't
if
usually
I need
train
to,
with it?
Swap out HS. If I need to like super min max, I'll swap out HS for Speed Infusion.
Wait, so when you're mobbing, you generally don't use it?
No, I don't.
Because even with the lower...
Yeah. Even with like the speed runes, it doesn't really feel that much different. It's a little bit faster, but not by too much.
Okay. Alright. And Last Resort is very good with the blaster, right?
Final damage, yes.
So between the core and that, and then... What's the last one that you need is like the Goddess Blessing, right? Yeah, that one. If you combine those three together... So what was...
Almost triple range, basically.
So in the past, what you would do is like hold the... Kind of like the whole time, basically until the cooldown would come back or something?
Yep.
And so then you would let it go, and then
It would complete, and then when you start attacking with snipe again, that's when you'd start charging the second one.
Yeah. But you wouldn't be able
And
to use 2 during like hard lucid, or would you?
no, you'd get both blasters in a 40-second BA.
Damn. Because it charges way faster than you'd think. Like
Mm-hmm.
the core overload takes forever to charge, but then the cannon itself, it charges in like less than 10 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm. It used to have a longer charge time, but they improved that I think a couple of patches ago.
I see. Okay. I might have still had those old numbers in my head because I was thinking like that took forever, but it actually was pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, so I think you wait like 40 seconds or something after you start to overload before you even start the cannon or something, and you'll still be fine, right?
Yeah, typically I'd wait until I'm around 25, 30 on the gauge.
Yeah, exactly.
Before I'd start charging blaster.
Yeah, so your bind is like seems completely desynced with your core overload, but it's supposed to be. Yeah, that took some getting used to as well. So what do you like? What do you do now in the game on the Xenon? Like, what do you solo and what do you party boss?
Soloing basically CRA, HMAG. Let's see what else. CPB, Carter and Maru. Thinking of starting Princess Nose. CPAP, I'm almost able to just bind and burst through phase 1, so I don't have to interact with him too much.
And Akechi?
Akechi I haven't started yet. Bit hesitant to learn his mechanics. And I'm duoing Lumion with Bloomaflub. Just to make it go faster. I can solo it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
speeding it up honestly so much better.
Being able to solo and not wanting to spend 25 minutes on it every single week is it's a very reasonable position to be in. It's not really worth your time to spend like an hour between those 2 bosses every week. That's a bit much.
Oh yeah.
It's better to just spend like 10 to 15 minutes and just get it over with. Okay, so that would be like the next step, being like strong enough to kind of more reliably solo those, and then be in like lucid parties first, and then get closer to 250 and start thinking about will. And then once you get those really under control, start working toward the hard versions of the bosses, that kind of thing. Yep,
start going for arcanes and drops and all that jazz.
How's the droplet situation?
I posted, let me see. I have 30 of the lucid, 12 of the will.
I see, yeah.
Yeah, most of those were just from dailies, honestly. I think I got about 50 maybe when I was trading at LP1, but for the most part everything's just slowly coming in. If I really want to farm the droplets, my Kana has 20 mezzo, 15 drop for the inner, so I'll just gear that up and then just go hard.
Yeah, like accessory, it has all the accessories, but the accessories are not like potential.
I have the rings, I have the accessories, they're at legendary, they just don't have the pots yet.
Okay. Oh, they're already legendary too, nice.
Event Meisters.
Event Meister. Oh, right. The Event Meister cubes got all your event rings to legendary.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a nice long process, but you get there cheaper for sure. Okay.
Where's it?
Seems like you're pretty diligently doing Monster Park.
Yep, finished the metal. I do the Sunday ones just so I can stock up on boxes. Because I know I'm gonna need them.
If you ever go really hard. I didn't get any dark totems. 3 silver. That's rough. No golds even?
Nope, no golds.
Wow. Wish I could share with my Xenon's inventory. Whole screen of golds.
Yeah, I wish I could have gotten the Hunter event, because those are amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because these don't have set effects anyway, so you're not looking for any of that. You're just looking for raw, all stat. Yeah, true. What about the best ones in like Sengoku and in Homeroom? Is the best one in Homeroom also better?
I think Sengoku and Homeroom. I think Sengoku is the second best set, but Hunter is definitely the best.
But Hunter's
Just
only
'cause of how
in
much.
reboot, in non-reboot,
Yeah,
and then
and non-reboot.
Sengoku's gone.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened to that one.
I think the best one in a homeroom, I think, is like, fuck, is it like 18 all and no, it's a little bit less. But I think the best one in homeroom is next in slot After Dark. Oh yeah, yeah, it's close. I know it's close. Like if you only get 2 dark or something, you can squeeze that one in. It's definitely better than gold, but maybe not better than dark. Yeah, it's like around there.
I can probably do U Garden, but it's so buggy. Or yeah, Afterlands. That's another option.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something you definitely can do. I don't know if it's yeah, it's up to you, of course. Like it takes some time, but like permanent stuff is always nice versus temporary stuff.
Definitely.
Hey TRK, look at the patch notes, dude.
Oh god.
Fix the issue where the mechanical hearts rescue mode could not be entered at times. Ooh. Looks like they're gonna try to fix it, dude. Daily amount of Aspire coins that can be obtained from hunting monsters have been increased to 100. It's not crazy, but at least it was doubled. Hey, it's doubled, okay? It's something.
Yep. Yeah, I've been doing the one droid stuff, the dailies at least, and just coin capping on that.
Yeah, I think people will be fine. It's just that no one will be able to just be, oh, I'll get one droid Hearthstone 40 characters this event. Like that's not gonna happen. But
yeah, I was looking forward to just finishing the event in one day and then moving on to the next character.
Yeah. Yeah, like it seems like it's gonna take at least like a week. Yeah, I was gonna be okay with doing it on a bunch of characters, but I want to keep making progress to Project C Array and maybe train on the Arc a bit. So I'm glad that I can kind of brush it to the side. But on the other hand, having hearts on all the characters would be nice. But man, if it's just for Project C Array and then maybe I won't touch them again in a long time, it's like whatever.
Extra Legion power.
Yeah, an extra Star Force. Yeah, you're right. Never miss an opportunity for min-maxing.
Yep.
So is there anything else that you had like general questions on besides like just general equip progression guide, I guess?
Just general gear progression kind of going forward. Because with Lynx and Legion, I have a decent idea from just stream and just watching and all of your tools that you have.
Seems like you picked up a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna try to like mansplain what you seem to already be practicing. So
I mean, the stuff you have like really helped me push this far actually. Okay. First time I've actually gotten a good character this far. Nice.
Okay, I'm glad. I'll still take full credit for all of your achievements then. Okay.
Yeah, I think the furthest I used to play on and off since, let me see, before Pirate release actually.
I remember that a long time ago. Made my beginner before Pirates came out and went to the map where in like Six Path Crossway where they were gonna release it and everyone was sitting there just waiting for the for the pirate area to come out.
Access to Nautilus.
Yeah, exactly where the wood sign is. Holy shit, 10 subs. Dude, we got 10 subs, man.
Oh yeah.
God damn. Thank you, Overlord Smo. Appreciate it, man. You want to give the kiss to Overlord Smo?
Scardor kiss.
Hey, there you go. There we go. Kiss the homie in the chat. Hell yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. That was the wrong scene, okay? You guys need to chill. Yeah, that's going to play in the background for a bit. That's pretty loud. Yeah, so you're rolling for all stat. That's, you know more about that plight than I do at this point.
Yep, everyone except the Xenon gets it.
Yeah. So you're just aiming for like 9% total on epic, like 15% total on unique, and then at least
taking what I can get.
Yeah. Well, that's short of it, I guess.
Yep.
How bad does it feel to have to settle for a lot of stat on the flame when you know that all stat could be so good?
Honestly, if I'm settling on a flame, I'd rather just push for 4% plus all stat, and then just maybe 20-30 flat stat,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just going for a big chunk of just pure stat without anything else.
Well, the Dominator is pretty nice. Too bad if the intellect was luck, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's one I'm keeping on the side. I have like 8 other Dominators, so.
Mm-hmm. Wait, are you trying to get something even better, or is this what you're gonna aim to
Yes,
use?
I want something better. Gotta min-max that shit, because Source of Suffering is not coming anytime soon.
No, that is very true. But the potential is also very nice on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Helps you quite a bit.
Yep, those were just from unique pots.
Nice.
I think I used those back when... God, what was the compensation that gave us that?
Wait. Different compensation?
The one we'd gotten a long time ago. That's when I U-potted these two DOMs, but...
Oh, right, when the DMT was broken.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Here's U-pots instead to make up for the unplayable DMT. Well... Oh, so you have like an old one transposed? I see.
Yep, that was the 190 I transposed a while back.
So that's why you're aiming higher now, and this one can always be a drop. Yeah, which it is right now.
And I can get rid of that jump +3.
Yeah. Now when I go over my equip videos on my Project CRA, like a lot of any ones with all stat pretty much always have jump on it as well. So you can clearly see these like old flame territory. Okay, so we're looking at 17. SAR most of it. So what's your drop rate set?
Yep.
Do you have like full drop rate set on this one?
I think I have 60% drop. I cubed one of the rings, the Kana ring actually, and got drop in 2 lines all over the mezzo, so I was rolling for 2-line mezzo drop earlier, but didn't get it, so I just settled on that.
So that's 12 all and 1 line of drop?
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna reset to just going through all your stuff. To reset to make sure that you can get to 5-line mezzo, 4-line drop.
Yeah. I'm trying to push the training set.
Do you have the items for that
already? Yeah, I have a few backup event rings too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess with the accessories, make sure that you don't end up getting like 15 items to legendary or something.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so it's better just re-roll something that you already have. Take like maybe small L there for a big W later, rather than to remake another one.
6 total rings, including the 5 that I put in the album.
Yeah, that's fine. Reboot Awake ring. Yeah, that would be nice if it got some all stat instead, but I mean, 21 strength is still pretty good.
Still stat.
Yeah.
Plan was actually to just try and go for drop set on the event rings and then damage rings for Star Force.
Yep. But then the Tenebris ring hit 15 all, so at least the Superior has 15 all. That's pretty nice.
I wish that 3rd line was some usable stat, but
yeah,
I guess MP for
MP
now.
is a little bit usable, right?
Slightly. With core load.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as... It's probably more useful on Dawn Warrior than it is in Xenon.
Yeah, just so you have the mana bar to burn.
Yeah. I mean, you're still gonna have to heal mid-burst though, but... okay, so you're working on the Princess No Controller, see if you can get something nice on there.
Something better than 2-line attack, 1-line boss.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tall order.
Yep. I mean, if I get a couple of prime lines, maybe.
Yeah, just a couple. I like that it just has like 2 all stat more and that's it.
Yeah.
Damn, that is not a great upgrade, huh? Oh well.
Yep.
An upgrade at least? Yeah, it's there, yeah. So do you think weapon wise you would want to go full full real Abzo, or just switch the fake arcane out, fake Abzo out for like a real arcane?
I was thinking of waiting for an arcane, but even with Xenon's getting, I guess, double in the drop table, since we have pirate weapon, thief weapon, I was planning to just go for 21 Abzo for the weapon at least, and then just sit on that until I get like a full arcane set.
And that's to facilitate like the progress or the progression into Hard Lucid and Hard Will.
Yep.
And then what kind of arcane would you aim for? Would you aim for a 17, or would you aim for like a 19, or?
I'd sit on 17, maybe tap it once to 18 if I can, if I have the funds for it and a backup.
Well, your backup would be your 21 Abzo, right?
Yep. Very, very risk averse.
Yeah. Well, once you have 21 Abzo, then you can be a little bit more risky in the arcane, because if it's like, well, if it doesn't get better or it booms, then it's whatever. Or you just stick to the 21 Abzo. The worst part is if you switch over temporarily and then, then something happens to it, and then you have to go back once you've gotten used to how good that was. Then that's really bad. But if you never equip it in the first place, you can never get used to how good it is, and you can never get disappointed when it blows up.
Especially
that's
base stats on arcanes are just nutty.
Yeah. A lot of times I wanted to be pretty hesitant in the past for people to like go over there too hard, but just the weapon itself, the base stats on a weapon increased by so much. They're actually so high that it makes the Genesis weapon kind of look weak sometimes.
I actually checked in an equip calculator. Genesis, like well-flamed Genesis, is still quite a bit better actually.
The base is a bit better, but the main thing that makes the Genesis better is that the two skills that it unlocks, like the extra iframe and then the temporary final damage that comes in every now and then. That really pushes it over the edge.
And the lucky skill.
Lucky, and the fact that it comes pre-upgraded as well, that saves you a lot of money, because when you get your arcane, you get to start from 0. That's a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
And then but if someone has like a 22 arcane and you compare that one to a 22 Genesis, it's pretty close. But then again, they're both level 200 also, so it kind of makes sense that they're in the same realm of
flames.
But in some other servers where they go crazy with upgrading and with scrolling and everything, sometimes their Genesis is just weaker than their arcane that they have. But then the stats still, and that still kind of compensates for that. Having
Matt's was a little bit weaker initially.
I think he got a really good flame on it though, right? Like a tier 7 or something with boss. Yeah, I think I saw a video of him hitting a really good flame there. But it's something that they've held on for like two years or something, constantly upgrading on, versus something they just get. So makes sense. But maybe in a year or two there are other ways of upgrading, and then the Genesis will like be substantially stronger than the arcane, I assume. Okay, yeah. So I guess the main focus is going to be for the weapon, right? So everything is pretty much 17 and 2 lined, and then you're getting your drop set to where you want to go. Your flames are going towards the other DOMs still.
I'm keeping these two, and then flaming, I think, between a backup cup I have and a couple of other DOMs, to see if I can get something better.
What about the Abzo stuff? Is there some gain to be made there? Because you haven't switched to the cape yet?
No, the Tyrants, I'm waiting for Star Forcing event to like actually transfer.
So is like a 17 or 18 star Abzo cape, is that where you want to go before you get into Tyrant? Yeah. Because of
before
all the
stuff, push everything further,
Okay. Yeah, the base stats for Tyrant are crazy for Xenon, of course,
Got like 2 stars on it back in No Boom Room, and just couldn't go further, so just left it there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, yeah, even those stars for Xenon are pretty good. Was it 39 all? Yeah. That's like a decent flame on top of it, if you see it that way.
Yep. That was a drop flame.
Not like that? Nice. Too bad about the 6th jump, but I mean, you take that, I guess.
Old.
Yeah. So do you think that for your situation it's more reasonable, because that's like the area that I'm like thinking of because of your income and stuff, that we have the a Maple Hotel coming, right, and the
Yep.
Neo with droplets in it. With that, because I'm thinking if it's more reasonable to just first try to see if you can get like 18 weapon, because it's so near, and then if you can manage that, then you don't have to worry about like the 21 Abzo and all that stuff at all, and you can kind of bypass
So
the whole
much
thing.
droplets. It's so many droplets for the weapon.
It is. It is what 200 and I keep forgetting 260.
216, I think.
Yeah. But if we get the same events as KMS, then by the end of the summer you'll have 150 just from the shops for each.
I can save that 150 and spend it on something else.
Yeah, well, so here are your two options, right? Like, okay, you have your current Figzo, you try to go for what is it, 21 Fafnir, transfer it into Abzo, and then either 20 to 21 on the Abzo, or get the Fafnir to 22 and then straight up into 21 into Abzo. The second one being a bit safer but more expensive. The first one being a little bit more risky but cheaper. And then wait until you have all the droplets, which will be not too long after that, I think. But once time to reach 250, I think you'll have that. And then try again for the Abzo, spend all the money there, and then maybe get it, maybe not get it. The other option is holding out a little bit longer, getting the droplets first, trying to get the Arcane first, and if you get it, if you don't get it, you're kind of in the same situation as the other one, in the fact that your next move is just to invest in the Fafnir again, right? If you do get it, you can skip the whole Fafnir part of the upgrading and getting a 21 or a 22, and all of that money can go into your other Abzo instead, or into accessories to surpass 17, maybe go to 18, 19.
Yeah,
those
I
are
have
like
the dinero for it.
And like backup rings and maybe Gollux coins, like that kind of stuff, or maybe Kana treasure rings. Yeah, Gollux is just such a slow process. And it's probably not a super fun boss, although you're quite a lot stronger than some of my characters that I'm doing it on. Although, well, probably at the level of my... my hero's stronger than you.
A bit stronger than the Adele, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like stronger than... Well, my Adele run was not...
Not class-wise, but...
Yeah, not class-wise, but like funding-wise by a lot, yeah.
Mhm.
I think my Adele is like at 6 mil, total like 18k stat, around there. Yeah. So those are like your two main options. I would, because of Maple Hotel and Neo coming, I think it's worth, because once you hit 245, I think you want to move into Moonbridge, right?
Moonbridge, VC3, and LH6, I think, are the two maps.
Yeah, because you have 12 droplets now?
Yeah.
So with
Get
150?
quite a few from MTS4.
Oh, you're already getting sphere droplets as well right now.
Yep.
Yeah, so all the way up to 250, you're going to be training there. You have 12 now. If you add 150, that's 162. So then all you need is just 50 more droplets. Which is a lot, but you're going to be training for a long time too. And then you have, the weapon ones.
With more drop rate and stuff too, so yeah. Could do that.
And then if that doesn't work out, either, if you get a backup, if you get into you probably won't get into the parties with the current weapon, right? Into a Hard Will and Hard Lucid. So,
definitely not.
But if you get that weapon, you'll get into the parties with that, right? That'll be a huge chunk. And if you don't get into it, that could be on the same day when you have like a 5, 10, 15, right? Like you try to push it to 18, it blows up, then you can just go to the Fafnir and you go hard on the Fafnir with the money. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then you switch eventually anyway. Then you'll have a trace that if you get a drop, you can transfer. Hopefully, 50-50 chance, right? because of your double drop. But yeah, with the idea in mind, like you're going for like that weapon, and then the rest of the set is going to be, the Abzo stuff, right? And then the Abzo stuff, you probably want to push all of that to 18, right?
Yeah, I'd wait for 5, 10, 15 to do that.
Yeah.
I have the course for it, but
Good. Okay.
I'm not touching this.
Yeah. So are you doing like the Zakum cape to transfer over, or are you gonna do straight on the
I have Renmaru ones.
Remember, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And shoe-wise, you have fodder
Same
for
with
that?
the shoe. I have fodder for that.
Okay. Alright, so just really... Well, 30% is soon, right? So you can already get it to 15.
Get
And
those
then,
to 15.
and then sit on it for a while. Then wait
Yep.
for it. And are you doing the same for the belts?
Yeah, I have quite a few pink bean belts just saved up.
Yeah, I think I saw in your background you have a... I thought your inventory in the background had some ping beam belts, yeah. And
Basically anything past 8 or 9, I'm just disenchanting for
yeah, that's fine.
for stones.
You don't want to clog it up too much.
Mm-hmm.
And earring wise, I guess that's part of Gollux. You probably don't have too many earrings.
No,
Mhm.
both my Gollux pieces were from pre-rework actually.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. So earrings, getting the reinforced drops. That's like the main fodder for there.
Yep.
Because your alternatives are just bad, right? Meister and Shaman earrings and fucking what is Creatures earrings and then Oz earrings. Like those are your options. So
No.
the least resistance
reinforced.
ones there is reinforced. So that's just doing a lot of Gollux.
Gollux over and over.
What are the other items? Yeah, and then the other stuff is well, penance is a bunch of extra dominators, right? One into the
I have plenty of those.
to the superior, and then rings. Have you gotten any Kana rings?
I have one spare Kana ring.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like between doing Princess No, which you said you were doing, and then I guess like crafting the Meisters. That's like the main way of getting the higher. But I don't think you're getting like billions by the hour constantly, right? So
No.
it's going to be a bit of a matter of like picking your battles, or which means that you can use that to your advantage when it comes to which dailies do you do to build up backups, right? So it gives you a longer time for dineros, so you don't have to be as strict, because once you get around to it, you'll have a bunch of dineros, or it gives you a longer time for the Gollux coins, maybe, so you can push that one to a little bit further, and you can focus on the other stuff that you have more backups for earlier. And definitely like the stuff that goes into the cape, the shoe. Which pieces of Gollux do you have now? You don't have all of them, right?
I have ring and earring,
Yeah, okay.
and then I have fodder for belt and pendant.
Yeah, because you're using reinforced belt now, I thought.
Yeah. The pot ended up being a little bit better on the E-pot for that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the base stats on Epic is pretty good as well. Pretty sure it overtakes the set bonus, at least the raw stat wise.
Yeah, the boss set doesn't really do too much for me. That's the point.
It's only the part with boss damage at the end, right?
Yeah.
And the IED.
The flames, just the flame advantage.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, since all the other Abzu stuff is already legendary with like 2-line, makes more sense to go on those. I guess the other stuff with the that would be the cheapest to go hard on would be the CRA stuff, right?
Yep. I was thinking of pushing those to 21 maybe during the 5, 10, 15, but that's not happening for a while, so.
Yeah, but definitely have to depend on when that event is. But yeah, you have to make a private risk assessment for yourself to see. So I think I talked about this like 2 sessions ago. You can use the fact that you don't have your Gollux drops yet to your advantage, right? People who get it quickly might want to transfer hammer into it quickly and go to 17 and then sit on that. And then later, if they want to push it to 20 or to 21, they have to redo it and then redo their potential. You can kind of take it to your advantage right now that you don't have the drop yet by maybe going hard on things like the reinforced earring and the pig bean belt and maybe on some of the rings. But especially on the things you haven't transferred hammered yet, so that you can do it in one go, and that saves you money in the long run. And then maybe postpone your CRA a little bit, because you can always do your CRA whenever it comes up. If you get like really desperate, you could. Yeah, because you could have so many backups, right? So it'll depend now how many backups you have. Like for the belt, you can pretty much get a lot of backups, and you can go harder on the belt. And then for earring, it'll purely depend, on how many reinforced you get. If you only get like 1 or 2 earrings, it's like, well, it's over pretty quickly. But if you end up having a lot of money and you don't have the arcane yet, and like the Abzo, the stuff for the shoe, for the shoe and the cape, you get those to like 19, transfer into 18. That's probably what I would aim for. And then, maybe you go for the belt also, you go for like 19 or maybe for 20, something like that. And then
accessories, I'll probably try to do 21 and then transfer into 20, just so I have that buffer.
For which one?
Belt, and what else was it? Pendant.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So you could do like one at a time item there, or you could include your CRA in that and just to go like 1 star at a time on all of them. It kind of depends on how much money you have and how it goes, I would say.
Yeah, just round robin.
Yeah, pound for pound, if you do it 1 star at a time, you'll get more bang for your buck on average. Just more gain increase in general. But of course, if you can finish up an item, then that might mean that you can take one of your dailies out of your routine, and then that could, lower the course load a little bit for the dailies later on if you don't want to be
Give more
too
time to train.
Yeah, or if you just don't want to be like bogged down. The fuck just happened? If you don't want to be like bogged down to having to do certain things all day every day, so. So what are you going to be using for damage rings? The Kana, the Superior, and then
the Thanabrus ring. Since that thing's 2-line as well. And for the last slot, I'm not sure.
Now you're using
maybe
the Master Ring, right?
SS, yeah, Meister I can probably craft soon since I have 7 or 8 primals. But I'd have to push for Meister.
You have to get them pretty high, right? Because the all stat on the on event rings is pretty good.
Yeah. What do you craft to actually push past level 10?
Oh, yeah, I have a video for that. You basically just look for all the rings that have low material requirements. There's a bunch of rings that cost the red, like the power crystal and the garnets and stuff, and then also the ones that take the black crystals and the dark crystals. You just rotate between those to get up to 11, or up to Meister, I guess, or up to Craftsman, sorry. And then once you're Craftsman, you keep making the same ones, but you can also add the eye accessories in. There's some eye accessories you can make that are lower level, that don't give you anything with... you have to use Emerald and Dex crystals, and I think intermediate monster crystals. But then you use those as materials to upgrade them with Meister, and those give you a lot. Those give like 4,000 plus mastery per. But those have cooldowns, so you want to like rotate between the 5 different kinds. But that helps you get up pretty quickly. And the other thing you can make is the special materials, the one that you need to consume to use the skill. But that's I would only do that if you're like really, really trying to rush it or you're really desperate, because the materials that go into that are pretty valuable. And unless you're going to be using the skill, which for Craftsman you're not really, because it's kind of weird and kind of bad, I would use it only as like a last resort. I wouldn't advise to use it on that.
Okay.
5,324 for each face accessory. Okay, yeah, see, it's quite a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, that because those rings are only going to be like 200 or 300 each, I think. So like one face accessory is gonna take the take the spot of a lot of rings, and that's gonna speed that up, because you do need significantly more to get the Meister compared to Craftsman for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope some kind of no boom room soon, but we haven't seen any kind of notification on that coming our way. Sadly.
Part 2.
Well, if they really wanted to compensate people, if they could give us a functional Celestial, I think they will be on the good side of many, many people.
Unending Night, man. I got so many nodes.
Yeah, I didn't use it for the nodes. I think I did it for 1 week. No, what did I do for 1 week? I did it. Yeah, I did it for 1 week on my hero, because I was gonna run out of double experience coupons. Like I couldn't even. Well, I was gonna run out of totems. I couldn't even cover with my totems. So I did something else for 1 week, but I did 3 weeks of the what was it called again? The Celestial
Surge.
Yeah, the Surge. Yeah. Oh my god, that was so much experience. It was nuts.
Yeah. That was I did Unending Night most of the time, and I think I did 1 week of Umbra. Like the first week before
Oh yeah,
actually
that
leveled
was
up the skill
the
to get the notes.
Umbra was for the
Legion.
for Legion, right? Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that that like scaled as well if you did it later on. The whole event scaled as well, and you got to pick what
Oh,
you
yeah.
wanted. Yeah. I mean, I think they could have. So here's kind of like the problem. I feel like if the event the first time was weaker than it was now, people would have still loved it. And then if they brought it back and it was as strong as it was last time, people would be even more happy. But
Expectations are set too high now.
yeah, but now the expectation is very high. So if they bring it back and they make it a little bit lower because it was too good, now everyone's going to be disappointed that it wasn't as good as last time. Even though the total outcome would be exactly the same as the previous situation I just mentioned. But people's concept of how good it is will be completely lopsided because what is
Their
it like
expectations are too high.
there's it's something like the principle of nearness or something. I don't know, like whatever happens, like whatever was in like time wise the nearest thing to happen is like the most fresh in your brain or something. There's like a
Recency bias.
Yeah, recency bias. Yeah, that's exactly. So like just because you flip it around, even if the total is same, the interpretation of the whole thing is going to be completely upside down. Yeah. So that's a thing to always be careful for. You want to give the player like some crazy shit, but if you go too high and you have to walk back from that, then you're never gonna get a good reception on
Familiars. Like what they did with familiars.
Yeah, well, that was. Don't get me started on familiars. That whole. I mean, if you just ask like 3 people who actually play the game to be like, hey, do you think this is good? Do you think this is good? We could have already flagged like 3 things in the system. It would be like, hey, this is not okay like this.
Yeah.
Are you guys going in here and upvoting his album? You're at -2 and now you're at 6.
Blame Imgur for that.
Yeah. Well, if you make Imgur, you can like you can just upload it or you can make it public. And if you make it public, people just like always downvote it because it's like, oh, this is not a post that was supposed to be visible, so I'm gonna downvote it. Yeah.
They keep trying to pretend like they have a community when they were literally a site made for Reddit image hosting.
Yeah, that's really well. I actually used Imgur before I ever used Reddit. But it was really interesting to see that there was some kind of community forming here when it was supposed to be just image hosting for Reddit. It was pretty interesting because they did try to, and I guess to an extent still are trying to see themselves as like their own separate thing.
Yeah, Reddit's detached themselves a bit from it too with their own.
Do they have a different one now?
Yeah, you can just post images straight to Reddit now.
Oh, okay.
It supports it, so.
I think Imgur grew a lot in the last years. Yeah. They do like a huge Secret Santa stuff and stuff like that.
And the death of Tumblr definitely helped.
Yeah, I mean they made porn posts illegal, right? That basically just killed that website.
Yep.
From what I heard. Okay. For crit, you're at 95. That's because your boost nodes, I think, right?
Yeah, boost node passive gives us 5% crit on the skills. Only thing is I still want to be at 100% though, because Blaster isn't affected by that. So I want to get 100% crit for that.
Okay. But you've got enough ways to cover that last 5. Do you really like min-max between mobbing and bossing, or?
I mean I can for like the harder bosses, but well, mobbing I really don't, because I still one-shot just from boost modes and arcane power.
Yeah, and you'd never use the blaster, not even for like an elite or something, because you're just...
The blaster is only used for elites, maybe if I have both hypergrams and infantry down, killing other parts of the map. Right. I don't have to be there.
Yeah, and because there's no experience lost for an elite boss, like an elite monster, it doesn't even matter, it just dies eventually, but like an elite boss, there's no mobs that you're missing out on, so you just want to...
Those things are basically wet paper.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. You do get quite a lot of damage increase from the final damage boost, right? That's at least... It's nice to see it in your stat window. It's not like Marksman where you pop everything, but then your range is still like the top one because you can't see it.
For your crit damage.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like, oh, hey, those are maxed.
Yeah, the crit damage can go quite high because of Vicious Shot, of course. That's quite a number. Yeah, so I think I would advise that route for the weapon. It's ultimately still up to you. 21 Abza would definitely be good enough to get into like a hard boss party. But like so would 17 Arcane. 17 Arcane is just really, really good. The flame on it will be crazy.
Keep it for longer.
Yeah, when you keep it for longer, and then if you ever get it back up, you can immediately start trying to upgrade if you have the money, of course. And you don't need the set bonus to make it work. Whereas for Abzo, you would need to make sure you get all your other pieces as well to make it work, right? Which would mean
5 set.
Yeah, 5 set.
I'm probably gonna have to replace the hat. They changed the thing, right, with CRA lucky hats. It doesn't work for if you're trying to double dip with the CRA set as well as Absa.
Well, you need to equip at least
3 pieces.
Yeah, 3 pieces without the not including the item. Yeah. So I think it does work with the Genesis weapon, right? That's why people switch back to CRA hats.
Yeah.
The extra 30% boss from Genesis, which makes it even better. Yeah, it'll mainly be like targeted backups, and I would say risk assessment before 30% off to see which items you can take the most risk on, and then you know it's kind of up to you if you want to go one item like send at a time to just be done with it, or take all at a time. But I think especially for the belt and maybe for the earring, depending on backups, it'd be a good idea to aim higher. Since you don't have the item yet, so that when you do get it, you can immediately transfer it to 20. And then immediately have it
big gains instantly.
Yeah, and the main thing, and not having to redo the potential and the tiering up twice. That'll save you the money there. It's like kind of you know, taking a.
That's why I held off on the cape and the belt.
Yeah, and because your current cape does need quite a lot to be replaced, of course, as a Xenon. It's really good. Yeah, so I think I guess the last thing we need to talk about is flames, right?
Yeah. The weapon, I've already gotten like tier 6 plus tier 6 attack plus like tier 5 all I think on it, so I already have that waiting for hammering if I actually decide to take that route.
They didn't mention anything that they were going to extend our pickup for the flames, I think, right?
Yeah, I think the last date for pickup is still the same, the 28th.
I think so, yeah. Unless something else goes wrong before that. Fingers crossed, I guess, because the more they extend it, the more people are almost likely to be able to use some on their cane or something, you know? As long as they keep fucking up, it just pushes back the redemption. And for you, it gets gets you closer to your, possibly to an arcane, and then be able to use it on that. But they only have it's a 1 week duration, right, when you pick them up?
Yes.
So that's not...
But they're transferable in account, so...
Yeah.
If I have any left over, I can just throw them at the Adele or the Kana to just see if I roll anything good.
Yeah, true. So the main thing you'd be aiming for would be like Abzo Cape and Shoe to get something good there, I assume?
Yeah.
Let's
see.
Yeah, you know more about like the numbers exactly that you're aiming for, right? For me, it's a bit...
I mean, it's basically what, 100 divided by 0.7, or maybe like 110.
Is that where everything else is at, roughly?
Give or take. It's like 150, which honestly with just percent all covers most of that, so.
Text lock, tech all. Yeah, man, yeah, because like with the shoe, it's like an okay one now, but because it doesn't have all stat, it's like, right?
Yeah, just each point of all stat is like 22 stat or something in the end game, so.
Yeah, it's like 4 all would already more than make up for the whole stack of luck, yeah. It is more reliable now as well because of the combination of jump there. I guess that was disproportionately hurting Xenons, right? Why did you guys get even more compensation than everyone else?
Because our flames are still a little bit easier, since we can just go for any combination strength dex locks.
Yeah, but you're more reliant on the all stat, which means you're more getting hurt by the jump, so you should get even more compensation. I feel.
Yeah, I'll let Max on.
I mean, and then meanwhile DA get the same compensation.
Yeah.
as a strength
Well, yeah, we're
class
looking for strength.
because we're looking for
Or
HP and
HP.
attack. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess eventually most people end up. But yeah, I guess if you get like 100 just stat, that's not good enough for you, right? Whereas for a lot of other people,
It's
that
not.
might be decently good for a while.
Yep. But then we're like transposing it like what 230, 240
Mhm.
a lot of the time. So
He has some crazy numbers.
yeah, the Xenon Discord, they're posting like, especially after flame compensation, so many crazy flames.
Right. Because they're just literally using thousands, so
Mhm.
you're seeing some like 100 plus stat plus a 7 all or something,
Yeah.
which is nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous because a lot of people like, oh, it's so doable because see how many people are getting it, and then some people start taking some very unnecessary risk, or not unnecessary, but like unreasonable risks just because it's possible. It's like, well, it was already possible before theoretically. It's just not very likely. You'll just see more of it because there's literally like millions of flames getting thrown. Like myself, who I don't think I flamed all that much. I got access to 15,000 in the last 2 years. Some, people actually spend a lot of money,
Yeah.
not real money, but getting like 30, 40, 50,000. Like these are millions of flames getting thrown in. I mean, even if a percentage of a percentage is good, you're going to see some crazy outcomes. So, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, I kind of partake in that as well. If I see some crazy flame, I usually take a screenshot and tweet it. But because
bigger sample size, more variance,
exactly,
etc.
yeah. Yeah, so like suffers where the main gain is, and you know where to emphasize the flames. Because the main thing will be like when do you start like re-rolling the emblem, right? Or your heart, I guess I should say, the power source.
Yep.
That's a bit of a tricky
Try
one.
to roll for like 3 line of something. Anything to replace that percent luck.
Yeah. Ideally, you want like, or not ideally, but like something that was still pretty good would be like, is ID, is that still on the table as?
Yeah, still only at like 92 visual, so.
Wait, what do you have familiar wise?
I have 2 15% ID familiars, which I kind of swap out one of them for the old mutant snail healing, just make bossing that much easier.
Right, yeah. And you use like one mutant snail and one ID.
For typically for bossing setup.
Right, and then the
drop set, I have an auto steal familiar plus old spider.
Spider, yeah, okay.
I'm good on that front until I just get to Moonbridge and just go for large drop or something.
Yep. Okay. Yep. And maybe a boss damage or a bigger chunk of ID, something like that. Yeah, I guess. Well, the thing is, the ID on the emblem or on the power source would be useful in now, but if you add the familiars here and you don't have the set effect from Golix yet, right?
No, not yet.
That would mean that if you would roll something, say like 12 attack, 9 attack, 6 all stat or something, that would
probably still keep that.
Yeah, that like for the end game and stuff, that would definitely, that's an upgrade now, but that would probably also be better than an ID line, I think, right?
Yeah, with how easy ID is to get with the familiars too.
Yeah, because Golix coming and then ID can go up in the familiars, because of the additional sources still on the way. It's not necessary right now, and you're over 90 visual, so you're already like in a good spot. Because you're not. Are you losing anything? You're losing maybe 10% line from the boss accessory set or something?
I don't even think I get that with. Let me see. Eye face, I don't use. Pendant, I think I'm at like 3 set boss, maybe.
No, you have the cup. Oh yeah, you don't have the
Dominator
badge.
cup, and that's it. Maybe one other thing. Let me see.
You use the bead mark, right?
Yeah, black bead mark. So yeah, that puts me at like 3 set. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you're not losing. Yeah, so there's no ID going away, only incoming even more. Yeah. And maybe even level 3 links, right? For Lumi?
Yeah, level 3 links. I tried to push my Lumi, but when Miria carried for Hilla, the pet drop was just earrings, so I'm just waiting on that one.
Oh yeah, you just taking like hard hillas. If you get a pet, then you push it. If you don't, wait another week. Yeah, you have to put the line somewhere. You have to. Sometimes you just have to draw a line in the sand and say no more.
The snail died, so I can't exactly loot.
Yeah, no, it's
just leaving all of those drops is just painful.
Wait, did you take the puff ram already?
Yeah,
okay.
Puff ram is what I used to push basically everything from 1 to 140.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, I did for some characters, and then for others, apparently I didn't. Someone was like, "Hey, check your puff ram." I was like, "I'm sure I already used it." Right when I was going for 200 to 210. Yeah, maybe when they switched it from
tots or something.
Yeah, exactly. When they took it out of tots and put it just into the light bulb, maybe it because it became a different pet as well, right? Because it was a 1 week and now a 3 day, I believe. Yeah. Nice spooky-gasm in my chat. If you had 94 with Gollux, 30 ID pod only gives 1.8.
Yeah. That's close, but still, any little bit helps.
Yeah. It's not to say that it doesn't work. Because once you do get to end game, of course, like being able to get a 6% final damage increase is still pretty huge, of course.
Yeah, you want to like Superman max at that point. Yeah,
but just to underline that there are more options right now that could be decent upgrades, but you're already aware, like you pretty much already immediately jumped on that, so you've got that covered. Yeah, I mean, I guess the main takeaway is like which dailies will probably be good to start up in the short and in the midterm, right? Which things to consider for upgrading. You already know for which events. That's not new. Yeah, I would advise the arcane weapon, but it's still up to you. Let's say that Maple Hotel and maybe Neo change that we only have one of the shops, or maybe we don't have as many droplets we can buy. Or, they could do weird shit, right?
With the Fairy Heart and one card, what they did.
Yeah, exactly, the Fairy Heart. Yeah, so I would say that definitely keep the 21 Abzo like in the back of your head as a very viable backup option if that doesn't work out. Yeah, and then you wouldn't have to. Yeah, and then you wouldn't have to switch the hat either. Then you could just switch the cape and be done.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, I mean, I hope you get like Gollux backups and the drop. That's that would be pretty big.
Just completing the set would honestly probably bump up my bossing damage quite a bit.
Yeah, it's huge. The base stats on the belt are also kind of crazy. It's like 35 attack clean, which is kind of bonkers, honestly.
Yep.
Seeing how the pendant's 5.
All stat bonuses.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of all stat runs you transfer hammer higher in there, and definitely just Star Force in general. Past 17 is also still really good for you, right? Because all of the the weapon attack.
Make crazy gains.
Yep. That's gonna be good for your scaling.
Yeah. Talking to the people in the Discord, it's like a lot of them are like, "Yeah, I just pushed straight to 22, and my shit's still epic." It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I think that's mainly a thing you do when you have like a second or third character that you're doing it on, though, because you can kind of, you don't have to take all of the little milestones on the way there. You can just be like, okay, my Legion and my Link skills are fine. I have the right sets. I just like push on an event. Yeah, you can definitely cut some corners without really getting punished at all. If that's their first main, I guess you can do it, but you probably have like a farming Kana to just brute force your way through with a lot of money.
Supplement everything, yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to the Kana, you still play that one decently? Like, do you finish up your totems on your main?
Simple dailies, just simple dailies mainly.
Because you're, with the future of Neo, right?
I hate playing class. They're just so mind-numbingly boring.
Well, that's why I think a lot of people like it. Just to, while they're watching anime or something, they can just pretty much tune out and still make gains while not actively. And because of Kishin, you can just go in and go out of it whenever you have a little bit of time. You don't have to.
That flexibility is probably what draws me to it.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, for the future prospect of Neo and the death experience loss and everything, so you're already prepping to have all the arcane power up. So that's good. That'll make sure you can keep going to the higher levels. And like nodestone wise, is that one doing okay?
I get a few here and there. I think per totem I get around 30-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to max out all the skills, so
Right.
just
Right.
kind of eat through them.
Yeah. Yeah. They have enough places to go. Are you Are you doing like the?
We scale so well with nodes.
Mm-hmm. You mean Kana or you mean Xenon?
Xenons.
Xenons. Mm-hmm.
Because we need the slots. Our final damage doesn't come in until we can get Last Resort in there with the Core Overload, with the boost nodes.
Yep. And then even then, the Goddess Blessing and the Overdrive still help a lot as well.
And DCO gives us additional crit damage as well.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I didn't make that link, but that's another reason why I think the Arcane is also like a good idea, right? Because it boosts your Overdrive as well.
Yep.
So
Next, what I should be looking for is Goddess Blessing, Combat Orders, Speed Infusion, and just whatever other utility I can get.
yeah, it'll depend a little bit mobbing versus bossing, right? When you're bossing, do you use those last two?
No, I swapped those out.
You swap those out, right? Yeah.
Overdrive and Last Resort.
That's like when you're
'Cause
260 or something, then you keep them in.
Yeah, like even when boosted, most people are saying it's like 1% of their total BA. So
Oh,
it doesn't
yeah.
make that much of a difference. So
Yeah.
honestly, like even further I can take them out.
Mm-hmm. That's
Triangulation maybe is a little bit, but because it procs so many times off a blaster. But even then, it's not that much.
That's the one with the cat on the bottom, right? Is that
Yes.
what does it do exactly? It like triggers extra attacks that
Every 3 times it procs, it does extra damage and reduces enemy accuracy, which hasn't mattered for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Accuracy, yeah. I mean, they just removed accuracy and avoidability from the inner ability, right?
Avoidability they just removed. Accuracy was.
Oh yeah,
I think that
accuracy
changed
has
with,
been
like
out,
the
yeah.
level. Yeah, the level
Mhm.
system changes.
Was that when they also changed minimum crit damage and maximum crit damage? I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
also a thing for a while. That was so confusing.
Back when Red happened and all the explorers got their revamp.
Yeah.
God, I like that old UI though. That was so nice. Splitting everything into like passives, actives, and attack skills.
Oh god, now I'm thinking. Hang on. Within the skill window?
Mhm.
Oh, I can't envision that right now. Did it kind of look like how Zero looks now, but then like 3 columns instead or something?
Yeah, you had like 3 rows, and in the skills were just in that with like plus and minus. You wanted to level up the skills.
Oh, so it's almost like the Ancestral Blessing, but then like the column, so you have to like go down the column kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Man, I don't remember that anymore. That's so long ago. We're talking like
Yeah, this was
8 years ago?
2012 around 2012, 2013.
Yeah, 8, 9
That's
years
when that
ago. Yeah, that's almost 9 years ago, dude.
Yep.
Oh man, time flies. That's a decade ago almost. Oof.
Honestly, these past 2 years have been just like blink and it's over.
Yeah, well, especially now because of COVID,
COVID.
because you just sit home and every day is the same, so it just flies by. It's not you don't really get any kind of feedback of that's the main thing, right? When you're, I think it's two pronged. Like when you're already older, time doesn't have as much individual value because you've already spent lived so much time. But the other thing
The
is
lesser percentage of the total time.
yeah, exactly that. And then the other thing is the more different things you do, the more time seems to go slowly. But the more you do like monotonous things, routine and stuff, which is typically like it goes together with being older and having a job and doing certain things at a set time, it makes the time fly by because you don't have those distinct memories of all those instances, but they all kind of just like weave together. So in your brain, your concept of time goes a little bit different. Those two things together, I think, make the years just fly by when you get older. Like I'm turning 33 this year. It's like what? Wasn't that like 27 or 28 or something? Oh god.
Yeah, I'm turning 25 and I'm starting to feel it.
But at least my new neighbor said, she basically said that she basically said boy when she referred to me. I was like, you can say man, it's okay. But it's good. Refer to me. It's good. You know, we keep each
As long
other
as you
young,
look
I
young.
guess. Yeah, exactly. It's like I got that going for me. People don't usually guess me very old, so that's at least that works a little bit in my favor. 33, not that old, trust. Yeah, that's what her mom said. Mom said, "Oh, 33, that's still young." So that's why I said, like, well, it's relative. Depends on, you know, jongeman. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I hope this was
Yep.
useful for
Sounds
you.
good.
Yeah.
Have a more concrete idea of what to do going forward.
All right. Good. Yeah. We already have a very solid foundation, so that was easy to build on. So you almost mained Legion for a while.
Yeah. I think I got to like 210, and then I was just doing Legion for a month and a half. Just a month and a half straight. And then finally decided to push my main.
Good. Because you used to play non-reboot, right? Or was that not you?
I started on Reboot like the day it opened, basically.
But like,
That's
and
how
then
old this character is.
and then you never went back, or did you?
I've never gone back to non-Reboot.
Okay. Maybe it was
Reg
another
servers
Xenon.
can suck it.
Yeah, stick it to the reg server. Yeah. Well, at least they probably get into OneDroid. But if the fixes are good, then we should be able to get into OneDroid now as well.
Yep, that heart's gonna be good. Good gains.
Yes. Oh yeah. And it's notoriously easy to cube as well, so you can
Less junk lanes.
aim for some. Yeah, exactly. So you can definitely aim for some all stat there as well. Yeah. Didn't mention that, but I guess that goes without saying.
Yep.
Now we just need Dark Lords of Darkness or any other event that gives you.
Just bring back the Hunter event.
Yeah, huge chunk of all stat on totems would be really good for you. Yeah. All right. Let's get into the jump quest, I guess.
Yep.
And yeah, I'll see you in chat. Best of luck, and I hope you can get afford that weapon soon, because I think yeah, that's gonna really tie it all together.
Some good gains.
For sure.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. See ya.
Yep. Enjoy the rest of your break. Bye bye. All right. We were able to do that in a work break. But yeah, already a very solid foundation. Overlord Smoke with the 10 gifted subs and the 100 bits. Thank you, man. This stream is now sponsored by Overlord Smoke. Rank 1 sub gifter for April. Thank you very much to my dude. And thank you very much, TRK. Hopefully that was worth your money, my dude. And yeah, so is Xenon, I think that's gotta be the first. Is that the first Xenon? Might have been the second one. I don't want to forget anyone. But when I do these sessions, it's in one ear, out the other, because I can't remember all the stats for everyone. Because if I do, I'll have those stats in my head for the next person, and I'll fuck all of that up. So I have to, like, suck it up real quick, and then blow it out real quick afterwards, and just let it go. But yeah, hopefully this was somewhat useful for you, for all the commands that we use. Check the description of the video. If you want one of these sessions, or you have information, data for me, battle analysis, monster skill per hour, or training videos of you somewhere into Neverus, or you want to join the NA or EU Scardor guilds, for all of that, check the description of the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.